Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time once again. It is Mild's Culture Plate. I'm your host, Mild Kevin Miles. It is Sunday, November 5th, 2023. Let me just start off with a couple of movie clips to celebrate the double holiday here. There we go.
Tell me, do you know what day it is, Evie?
November the 4th.
Not anymore.
Is that loud enough?
Remember,
Yeah, there you go.
remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder, treason, and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. First, the overture. Yes, the strings.
Yes. Yes.
Can you hear it? Now the brass.
I can hear it. What's that, honey? What kind of music?
Oh, here we go.
How did he do that?
Wait. Oh, here comes the crescendo.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh, is it not?
Okay, let's go ahead and stop that before I'm probably going to get copy claimed anyway for that, but I don't care. I'm not monetized anyway. So, yeah, happy Guy Fawkes Day to everyone out there. Happy Guy Fawkes Day. Got one more for you here. One more little movie clip to celebrate the November 5th holiday here. Let's try this here.
Here's the red letter date in the history of science, November 5th, 1955.
Uh-oh.
Yes, of course, November 5th, 1955.
Why, I don't get what happened.
Yep.
That was the day I invented time travel. I remember it vividly. I was standing on the edge
Yep,
of my
the
toilet, hanging
dates.
a clock. The porcelain was wet. I slipped, hit my head on the edge of the sink, and when I came to, I had a revelation, a vision, a picture in my head, a picture of this. This is what makes time travel possible. The flux capacitor.
All right.
Today is a big day for fans of...
Wait, no. Let's stop that. Go away. Didn't want to be playing that. I just was slow on the shutting it down. Okay, got a loud vehicle outside my house. Not sure what that's all about. Anyway, yeah, we didn't have our usual opening here on Miles Culture Plate, so I'd like to take the moment to, yes, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, feds and degenerates, cuckolds of all ages. It is Miles Culture Plate. As always, if you come in the chat and say hello to me, still drinking the larceny. I don't really want to be, and I'll get into that here in just a second. I don't want to, I right now, I hate the smell and taste of whiskey so bad. So bad. Hang on. Added some outside noise, and my light's not on. Wow. Just totally unprepared to do a stream, even though I've been preparing for 2 hours now. Okay, so yeah, I wish I had a silly straw. So yeah, if you say hello in the chat, I'll give you a little toast. And so here we have Salty saying here. Yeah, and also said silly straw. Yeah, I wish I had a silly straw so I didn't have to smell it. I could make it go right down the gullet. But anyway, cheers, welcome. So the reason I'm not, that's the hair of the dog, folks. The reason I am, let me see if I can bring this up here. The reason why I am not in any kind of mood to be drinking. Let's see here. Is because last night I went to a whiskey tasting event in Kansas City. And I was up rather late drinking a lot of whiskey. And then, of course, because Kansas City is so near, I woke up this morning for the NFL game. The Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Miami Dolphins in Frankfurt, Germany. All right, let's bring this up here. I want to bring this up here. So this was me last night. Oh, you know what? I don't think this... Hang on, folks. We got something going on here at my house. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so I was going to bring up a photo of myself from last night, but yeah, I got to figure out which program I can open it with here that StreamYard will accept here. Let's see, let's try opening with Brave Browser. There we go. Sorry for the unprofessionalness, folks. There we go. Hey, that's me last night at the whiskey tasting event. I got hammered. I drank so many whiskeys. They had so many on the taste. So yeah, that was me. Where did my chat go? All my chat's gone now. Okay, there we go. Sorry. It's a disaster. I'm not good at the Hangover streaming, apparently. But anyway, so let's get into some of the topics. So yeah, I drank a whole lot last night. I got there about 6:30, had to wait in line for pretty much the whole half hour. They did allow us to go get our whiskey menus that was like 5 pages of whiskeys. I will say I tasted some pretty good stuff. They actually one local, I think they're based somewhere out of Kansas, had a gooey butter cake whiskey that was rather delicious. I also had a chance to try Jefferson's Tropic, which was pretty good. It was pretty good Caribbean flavor. I guess they said it's aged in humidity, whatever that means. I'm imagining it causes the barrels to swell and tighten and maybe gives it more of the oaky flavor. But yeah, so I drank so much whiskey last night that I'm still sweating it out of my pores this morning. And so that's where I'm at right now. So yeah, I've been on the Twitter today, and one of the things I wanted to talk about, one of the things that's kind of been a running theme on my show, right, is bad women behavior. And we covered a one of these TikTokers and their BS on the last show. Let's see another one here. Let me turn up the volume.
Came to the realization why I'm single.
Oh, okay. So you didn't walk past a mirror, right? You didn't walk past a mirror.
Every guy that I'm like, oh yeah.
Uh-oh, here we go. Man,
he's attractive. Okay, this is not supposed to be offensive, but I see their wives and they just look like so like You know? Like, not like this.
Oh, you mean they look like someone's fucking wife? Huh? Like they look like someone's fucking wife. Like they're not dressed like prostitutes. They're not covered in tattoos and heavy metal, right? As you know, Salty Sand just said in the chat. Where did it go? Wow, I'm usually quicker and better at this, and I'm just... There we go. Yeah.
Just like, you know, like, I pretend my tattoos are gone.
Pretend the tattoos are gone. Oh my. The regrets, right? The regrets.
Dude, I look crazy. Like,
Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Oh, hello. Welcome. Shut up, I can cook. Good seeing you in the chat again today. Cheers. Oh, so this is the funny thing about this video to me is you have a woman approaching her 30s, recognizing the limited time available with her eggs, and realizing that perhaps some of the decisions she made are not very wifely. And here we go. It's always laggy. Don't know why. I just did a whole upgrade of hard drives and...
that's why guys don't want to wife me up. And I just come to this realization today.
See, that was your hair. There's nothing wrong with your hair.
Or maybe it's because all of them see me eat sushi after I get out of the grocery store in my car with my bare fingers.
What?
And drink sweet tea.
What?
Oh no.
Yeah, she's trying this cutesy southern accent.
I thought these men wanted like...
Okay, so let's get to the real cut and dry here, right? She's not a 1, right? She's not a 10. Definitely not a 10. Not a 9, not a 8, not a 7. But she's not a 1, right? She's not Gorlock. She's not one of these who's just it's unable to find a date. She knows that she can get a following on TikTok because, again, she's a moderately attractive woman, like a 6. And if you're a 6 on the internet and you've got breasts, you can get a pretty decent following on TikTok and on other websites, especially if you do your eye makeup real exaggerated like this. Shoe on head. So yeah, you know, a 6 can get a pretty big following. Salty Sand says 5 depending on the attitude. Yes. And Shut Up I Can Cook says not bad looking, just cover up the tats, miss. Yeah, you know, that's kind of the issue here, is that she's made these decisions to modify her body, put a ring through her freaking nose, and then it's like, well, is it the sweet tea? And she's doing it with this ditzy southern accent, like on TikTok, where she's expecting, like, trust me, she's not going to sleep with any of these guys on TikTok, but you just know the comment section. And I should go find this video and see if I can find the comment section, but I will never make a TikTok account. Anyway, you just know there's thirsty dudes in the comment section. Hey, I'll wife you up. You know, and that's why she's doing it. She's doing it to engage internet simps in telling her that she's not all that bad, but she is. She is. She knows it. You know it. I know it.
You know, big, strong, tough girls.
Big, strong, tough girls.
I don't know. I feel like all of them are like super girly, and all these guys are like, yeah, that's my girl. That's just like housewife stuff. And I'm over here like, I own my own business. I'm covered in tattoos. I'm a little spazzy, but that's okay. We embrace it. But yeah, I don't think.
Okay, so the girly thing, right? Guys don't have a problem with tomboys as long as they're still a woman. Like we're not trying to date a lesbian. And like you do your makeup, you do girly things, you put in earrings. Unfortunately, you put one through your nose organ that shouldn't have one, but you know, you do girly things too. You present as a girl. You don't dress like a lesbian would, or you know, a masculine presenting non-binary type person would. You don't seem very manly even for a quote unquote tough girl. So here's the thing, there's nothing inherently wrong spam phone call, awesome. There's nothing inherently wrong with being a tomboy, right? Guys like tomboys. We're attracted to tomboys. We like the girls who get dirty. But that's not you. You're just an internet thought on the internet trying to get engagement for bad takes like this.
I think any guy's gonna wife me up because I can't take me seriously. And I just realized that.
Well, that's because generally when we get to this age, whatever age she is, she's like in her 30, PBT fitness. Okay, so she's also on the fitness TikTok grift. All right. But anyway, so when guys get to this age, we see through the bullshit. We see through the gimmicks. You know, we see through it all. And we're not trying to marry that. We're not trying to wife that. Sorry, just checking some other things on Twitter here real quick. So in the spirit of that, let's take a quick look at the recent Twitter timeline of Pearl Davis, because this is kind of the main topic of the show here, is what's appropriate for a wife and mother. And you know, Pearl Davis has been exploring such things on her Twitter feed. You know, she does it because she's a troll looking for engagement, right? But let's take a look here. Okay, so we have Pearl Davis. Okay, so she's responding to this person. Silly for a woman in her 40s dressed like a 22-year-old, no matter how good she looks. And then here, yeah, you have a woman who's, you know, got the midriff exposed, wearing a really tight mini skirt and very tight shirt that barely covers the breasts. I deem this outfit inappropriate. The slutification of trad style is in full force. So here, yeah, you have a woman wearing the sort of trad long dress here, the long hippie dress type, but yeah, midriff exposed, breast barely covered. And of course, she's trying to pimp her shirt. Women shouldn't vote. I deem this outfit appropriate because she's covered. Here's where it gets funny. I deem this outfit appropriate, but if you look, her nips are poking through. And here's where I'm torn on this. Like, yeah, you should be wearing a bra. And down in the comments, someone called her on it, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't notice that. Yeah, this is inappropriate." But this is where I'm torn, because I'm not a person, like, I'm not a hippie dippy, right? But I'm hippie enough to be like, look, bras should be optional to some degree. Like, you shouldn't have to wear like this huge strappy padded fucking thing just to prevent your nips showing through your shirt. I mean, Lord knows there are chubby dudes out there who have pokey. Anyway, so let's keep scrolling here. I deem this outfit almost appropriate, just slightly inappropriate with the short shorts. I'd say that the shininess also makes it a little provocative, but I could see a wife and mother wearing that. I don't have necessarily an issue. So this is Pearl herself. Oh, and my overlay's covering it up. Hang on, there we go. This is Pearl herself. And she said, this is inappropriate for a wife and mother. This is appropriate for a wife and mother. Very cute outfits, but this outfit is inappropriate. Inappropriate. Well, this is gym attire. This is gym attire. This is thought gym attire, but it's gym attire. I mean, like we said in a previous program here, Salty Sand says, won the evil brawl war finally. Yep. I love this shirt, but I deem this inappropriate. Well, yeah, we don't need to see your midriff. And so this created a little bit of a stir, obviously. She's doing it for engagement, right? She's doing all this for engagement. But look, I had a conversation with a fellow streamer. I'm not going to call them out by name, but they're somebody who, I respect and I follow. And it came back up on a recent one of their live streams. And it was an engaging conversation. And ultimately, the thing I tried to point out is there's a difference between sluttiness and elegance. Like, both are sexy, right? But there's a difference between being provocative and slutty and being sexy in an elegant manner. And I, the traditional line is, if you hide it, then it leaves more to the imagination. And there's something to that, right? It's okay to wear things that are somewhat form-fitting, things that somewhat show a little skin, but it depends on where the skin is, what the skin is, and how it gets displayed. The reaction you're going for. Now, sometimes it's just comfort, and I get that. Like these girls talking about, wearing a sports bra or whatever to the gym. I think, yeah, but like a little bit of a fabric of a t-shirt nature, like a very light t-shirt over the sports bra wouldn't kill you. And it's not like it's going to suck you into the treadmill or whatever to be wearing a t-shirt at the gym. It just won't. I wear a t-shirt to the gym. So yeah, there's classy, as Salty Sand just said in the chat, there's classy and there's trashy. And I think if you have committed yourself to a family, right, you're no longer on the market. I mean, granted, there are polyamorous people and polygamous people and people who like to cheat, and that's fine. If that's your thing, sure, dress like a slut, whatever. But if you're done with the dating market, showing skin, being provocative, now again, the key root of the word provocative is provoke. Like, you're not trying to provoke. You're not trying to win somebody. You're not trying to necessarily get a bunch of attention. Oh, but that's just it. Maybe that's it. Maybe you're just an attention whore. Maybe some of these women who are on Pearl's timeline are just attention whores. They've already got the husband and the kids and they're bored and they don't want a divorce. But they really need that attention. They need that new look at me smell, right? Salty Sand says, like good old Marshall, let me see them ankles. Hell yeah. Oh, Shut Up, I Can Cook said, I love the sunglasses right as I took them off. I'm sorry. I'll put them back on. I actually got these at the whiskey event last night. They had some interesting swag. I also got a neat little notebook from Lagavulin, like a Lagavulin leather-bound notepad. It was pretty fucking awesome. Anyway, so enough of that, and enough of these women, and their bad behavior and bad etiquette. Let's talk about Halloween for just a minute. We just had Halloween, and there were a lot of videos that went viral, but I didn't necessarily cover them on my last show. I kind of wanted to take a while and do a compilation here. So let's just take a look at some people's behavior. Uh-oh. Have I had that on? I've had Cookie's chat on the screen this whole time. All right. Okay, present, share screen. Okay, let's look at this video. Let's watch these fine, upstanding citizens. Oh, but wait, they don't sound like citizens. Oh, look, the whole family's in on it. The dad come and grab some. Yeah, like 9 kids. Oh, yeah, whole bowl. Down. Look, the dad even wanted a second handful, and there was none to give. So there are a lot of these videos. There were a lot of these videos, and we're going to look at a couple more here. Let me remove this. Let's watch one more here. Share screen. Let's watch this one.
What does it say? Please take one off each. Nope. Come on, let's go. Oh, get one. That's right. All right, come on, let's go.
Okay, so this person's filming themselves. They're not even caught on a doorbell cam. They are filming themselves and their child. Please take one of each. So not only is the homeowner being generous in saying, okay, we're not going to give you one piece of candy. We'll give you 2 pieces of candy, right? Like, we're generous. We'll give you 2, and they look like fairly decent sized little candy bags here. But no. We live in the culture of get mines, right? We live in the culture of everyone's got to get whatever they can get. And if they could get that one more, take that one more inch than the next guy, well, then they win. And so I saw these videos, and my first reaction, my gut reaction is these fucking homeowners, right? Because to some degree, I blame the fucking homeowner. Like, it's one thing if you have the doorbell cam and you're actively monitoring the doorbell cam and watching what's going on. I could somewhat give you a pass for being a little lazy and not jumping up to the door every second. Especially if you're in a busier neighborhood for trick-or-treating. But if you're monitoring the doorbell cam and you're able to kind of shoo the bad people away, or I saw someone say that on Twitter say that they did this, but teenagers came and snatched the bowl early, like 5 p.m. And so they ran after them and made the teenagers give the candy back. If you're that kind of person, yeah, you're lazy, but I could almost give you a pass. But if you're one of these people who just go spend $4 on a bag of candy, dump it in a bowl, stick it on your porch, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. I think proper Halloween etiquette is just leave your fucking porch light off, right? Just don't celebrate. But if you're going to celebrate, you're going to turn your porch light on, you're going to provide candy for trick-or-treaters, then you have to be an active participant in the holiday, right? Am I wrong about this? Like, be an active participant. Put on even a crappy costume, right? Or just put a mask on, just buy you a cheap mask, kind of turn on your sports or whatever, and put your Barcalounger kind of closer to the door. That way, when you hear someone coming, you can hop up, open the door, hand them a couple pieces of candy, and move on. If you can't give at least that much effort, like just leave your porch light off. Leave your porch light off, and you deserve to have your house egged and TP'd or whatever, because kids are mad that you're not giving out candy this year. But yeah. I think this is a big problem with our culture, and we're gonna have another little conversation here in just a minute about laziness. But first, let's have a little bit of our trick or treat stuff. Restore some faith in humanity. This is from Breitbart, obviously on Twitter here, and these kids showed up to this house looking for candy. He's knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell. Nobody's answering.
If you're not home, that's okay, but I'm gonna leave some candy for you so you have trick-or-treaters, okay?
Nice, buddy.
See, their bowl is empty.
We're not leaving all your candy, buddy. Okay, buddy.
Hold on. I just put some candy of mine right there so you guys have trick-or-treaters.
Oh, that's really sweet, buddy.
Oh, see, that's adorable, man. See, that kid doesn't want other kids to go without. Now, Salty Saiyan, I'm sorry, I meant to get your name in there. Salty Saiyan says this, and it brings up a good point. So, yeah, if you have nobody else to watch the house and watch the bowl, and you're not expecting a huge amount of teenagers and ruffians to come steal it all, sure. If you legitimately have something else you have to do, like taking your own kids out trick-or-treating, yeah, there's not a problem with leaving a bowl out, but I wouldn't put your entire candy supply for the night in the bowl. And I would definitely try to make it a point, if you can afford to, make it a point to come back and check on it, especially if you're taking your kid through your own neighborhood. Just kind of keeping an eye on your own house. I mean, we're getting to the point where you can't really leave your house unattended for too long. But yeah. Oh. Wow, I'm just totally forgetting how StreamYard works. Okay. So the last trick-or-treat video. No, we have two more. These are more just for the comedy, for the shits and giggles. So if you do take your kid trick-or-treating, if your kid is out trick-or-treating, hopefully instead of saying trick or treat, maybe they'll say this.
You need Jesus Christ. You support LGBTQ. You need Jesus Christ. You support LGBTQ.
Wow. Oh, you gotta love children. You got to love children. Kids say the darndest things, don't they? I mean, that kid, but those last two kids give me a lot of hope for the Halloween season. That they're definitely, the eye bleach I needed after the previous two videos. Now, so let's look at another reason why you shouldn't necessarily leave it unattended, because you never know the kind of trick-or-treaters you're going to get. Here, let's just get rid of that music. Trick or treat. I'm a big black bear. And look. The bear only takes one piece of candy. The bear only takes one piece of candy. The black bear is more civilized than the parents we saw on the first two videos. And there, I had a third video and that I lost it somewhere in my feed, but yeah, those you gotta love it. Gotta love it. Okay, we're at 36 minutes into the show here. Okay, let's do this. I saw this scrolling through my feed. I saw multiple people sharing this video. Apparently this took place earlier today on Meet the Press, and I hate covering Trump and I hate covering Ukraine. I hate covering Israel, but this might be important because Zelensky's asked about Trump here, and let's see what he has to say.
Former President Trump said that about 24 hours that he can manage it and finish the war. For me, what can I say? So he's very welcome, first of all. President Biden was here and I think he understood some details, which you can understand only being here. So I invite President Trump, if he can come here, I will need 24 minutes. Yes, 24 minutes, not more. Yes, not more, 24 minutes to explain President Trump that he can't manage this war. He can't bring peace because of the Putin. But always we have
because of the Putin.
If he's not trying and if he's not ready to give our territory for this terrible man,
so
for the Putin.
So he says, you can't do it without giving up our territory. And I think ultimately, again, isn't that the gist of the war? Is you have parts of Ukraine where the citizenry kind of wanted to become a part of Russia, and when the Ukraine government said no, Putin's like, okay, well then we'll just take it. And I don't agree with either side on this. I really don't. But again, to think that you're going to end this war with gunfire and bodies and not giving up a little bit of the Donbass region. Good luck. Good luck. I just wish my fucking tax dollars weren't being spent. And I guess later in the interview, he's like, oh yeah, we need US to support us for one more year. 1 more year is all it'll take. Oh. So let's get into the laziness. Let's get into this other philosophical discussion here, because this is from the Babylon Bee, only it's not the Bee, right? They're not the Bee website. This is not parody. This is real life. DoorDash now warns that not tipping before your food arrives might mean drivers will deliver your food cold. Remember when gratuity used to be given to a service worker as a symbol for your gratitude for a job well done? Well, those days are gone. Tips are now expected upfront before the service is provided, which would technically make them an added fee, not a sign of gratitude. Take the example of getting a meal delivered via DoorDash. You have the cost of the meal paid to the restaurant, the cost of delivery, and then there's the option to tip up front. And in some areas, DoorDash is now giving you a warning that if you don't tip up front, so let's click this link for the warning here. Okay, it's just a link to basically the same article written by The Verge. Okay. The drivers may not prioritize your meal, resulting in cold food. So here's the screenshot of the app saying orders with no tip might take longer to get delivered. Are you sure you want to continue? And then there's add a tip or continue without tip. Salty Sand said, yeah, 2/3 of them immediately surrendered and were happy to see the Russians. Yeah, I heard the same thing. Anyway, so here's what DoorDash spokesperson Jen Rosenberg had to say about the message. Every day, Dashers go the extra mile to help connect customers with the best of their local communities. That's why we encourage customers to show their appreciation by tipping. As independent contractors, Dashers have the full freedom to accept or reject offers based on what they view as valuable and rewarding. While the vast majority of customers do leave a tip, offers that don't include a tip can be seen as less desirable. This impacts our entire community, leading to longer wait times for customers, orders sitting longer at merchants, and less value for Dashers. This reminder screen is something that we are currently testing to help create the best possible experience for all members of our community. As with anything we pilot, we look forward to closely analyzing the results and feedback. And so the person writing the article says, now I'm all for tipping for good service. There's nothing wrong with showing appreciation for someone going above and beyond. And these gig tech companies are notorious for trying to stiff their workers. So the tip is an important part of the workers' incomes. That said, having to pay a ransom to avoid having your food being taken hostage by a delivery driver or ending up with food poisoning because your order sat too long is kind of insane. Everyone and their mom has strong feelings on the subject. I'm not going to read all these tweets. Personally, I've never used any of these food delivery services, blah, blah, blah. Now, I do. I use them. Let's see. What's this, though? DoorDash delivery. Oh, yeah, I've saw this.
It started as a normal pizza delivery.
Okay, no, never mind. We're not going to watch that. That's too loud and dumb. Okay, so let me close that down, and let me just talk for just a minute about American tipping culture. It's getting out of control. It is. It's getting out of control. You know, now when I go buy a donut, like literally, before I even taste the donut, before I even get my drink or, coffee or whatever, before I even know the quality of the product I'm getting, you swipe your credit card to pay for the meal, and that tip thing's right there. They always, spin the tablet around, make you click it. So I could be eating, 2-day-old stale donuts and 9-hour-old coffee. I could cook over in the Ricada chat. Says, we don't tip for buying donuts, sir. I mean, that's part of the issue here is a donut counter now has the option to tip up to 20% readily selected on their tablet for you to just click and sign, right? Now, there are industries, and let me be clear. I had a conversation earlier about the kind of madness going on in Las Vegas with the Formula One stuff. And for more information on that, I'll point you to there's a channel out there called Jacob's Life in Vegas. If you're interested in Las Vegas news and stuff, I'm in Vegas enough to where I kind of like to hear some of the news, hear what's going on out there, and get some of the news. Well, anyway, so they got Formula One racing coming there next week for the first time, and they're going to be racing right down Las Vegas Boulevard, right down the Vegas Strip. And they're making, with all the construction of the stands, the construction around the streets, there are side streets that they're repairing. There are main streets that they're repairing. They're building the scaffoldings in front of the casinos. You go to a restaurant now, they've got walls up blocking the view to the Strip. You walk the pedestrian bridges, which were gorgeous views of the Strip and the skyline. A lot of people would walk those pedestrian bridges and take pictures off the side. They've now put up film that you can't see through. Formula One has transformed the Vegas area into a nightmare for tourists and locals alike. All to get this Formula One race. And, they're overly concerned that someone who didn't buy a ticket to their grandstand might catch a view of the street. Meanwhile, you have all these people who've lived in the Nevada area, in the southern Nevada area, and have relied on this city being a hub for hospitality, so that they could make their living income off of our tipping culture. But Formula One isn't really geared for Americans. It's a worldwide phenomenon. And the largest audience of Formula One are Europeans. So you have here our hub of hospitality. Now, look, I have heard that, really everyone in Vegas expects a tip. Like, you tip the bellhop, you tip the front desk person, you tip everybody, right? I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I do it because I understand. I understand, having been in a job where I got paid a living wage, but then people would also give me gratuity, Yeah, Salty Sand says, go to McDonald's. Do you want a tip for just handing you the food? Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Now, thankfully, places like Sonic, their car hops have always kind of gotten tips. And then when they started widely accepting credit cards, there was never an option to leave a tip on the credit card. And now, over the last couple of years, now they have a little box you can check to leave $1 or $2. Doesn't matter if you're spending $50. It's like $1 or $2. It's like, okay, they don't want their employees over tipped, because then you run the risk of the IRS coming in, wanting everyone's records and audits and this and that. I get it, man. I like the way Sonic does it, because a tip is just a kudos. You don't need a 15% tip just bringing 2 bags to a car, right? Especially if you're getting paid a semi-decent wage. But anyway, so back to Formula One. Formula One is mostly Europeans, some Asians, bringing their culture into Las Vegas. And their culture, they don't do this. They just pay a living wage. They don't feel the need to tip everyone. They just make the price cost more. Fair enough. And that may be the way it should be. But here you're going to have this huge event costing the city like $4 million to put on, and creating this nightmare for all these locals who work at these casinos. You got to make it worthwhile for the locals. You can't make it worthwhile if everyone they're going to be, the increase in business traffic isn't going into their pocketbook. It's going to go into the casinos and into the already rich Formula One organization. But anyway, this is long. I've taken the long way around to just say, we in America, we have a really fucking weird culture about tipping. And so now this idea that instead of just paying more for DoorDash, well, now we're expected to come up with our own arbitrary number. And this is what fucks me up too, is, getting a haircut, getting a massage, staying at a hotel and leaving a tip for the room cleaners. Are these all supposed to be like a flat 20%? Are you supposed to give more if it's better service? Because I grew up around tipping waitresses, right? You go sit down at a restaurant. This person is walking back and forth to the kitchen probably 4 or 5 times for you and your table mates, and then walking back and forth, refilling your drinks. And if they're on top of it, they deserve good service. And if they're not on top, or they deserve a good tip rather, if they're not on top of providing a good service, then you leave a little bit less of a tip. You kind of let them know, hey. But this idea that now, just for handing me coffee over a counter, or punching some numbers into a computer screen at a hotel, or, every business now has the add a tip feature. If I go to a food truck, Like, you're already charging me for the food. Just make your food cost $1 or $2 more. Why do I need to see that add 23%, 22%, 20% when I go to sign my credit card slip? Like, just charge me more and let me determine whether or not it's worth the money. Because now the next time you see me, if I leave $1 or less, now the next time or $0, the next time you see me, you're going to provide me with shitty service. When if you had just tacked on the $3, it's up to me to determine whether or not the service is worth it. And then I would get to determine whether or not I'm going to approach your food truck or your coffee counter or whatever again. We should not be, just like the person in the article said, we should not be afraid we're going to get food poisoning because someone didn't like a number on a screen. We shouldn't have to worry. You know, again, before the age of the debit card, a tip was you leaving a couple bucks on a table after you walked away so that the server can notice it and be like, oh, okay, yeah, they appreciated me. Thank you. And then over time, it became you're paying their salary. And then over time, that became, well, now everyone expects a tip, and not everyone deserves a tip. I still tip. I still tip everywhere I go. Anytime I see that little button, I click it anyway. It's not worth the hassle for me to worry about getting food poisoning next time. And especially if the food's good. Now, if the food's not good, or if I feel like I got bad service, I'll just quit going somewhere. I'll just quit ordering from somewhere. Like this DoorDash stuff, like, yeah, there was a time when I ordered DoorDash constantly. And they would always forget, like they wouldn't bring me flatware or whatever. I mean, granted, most of the time I was at home, so I could just use my own silverware, but you know, that wasn't always the case. Sometimes I'd get DoorDash delivered to wherever I was working, and we don't have flatware there. You know, a lot of times that's like on the road stuff where I don't have time or I'm in a vehicle too large to go through a drive-through, so I just have DoorDash meet me at one of my work sites. And I'm willing to tip for that, but for God's sakes, I mean, they forget shit all the time. They don't bring drinks, or they steal the drinks, or they steal the ice cream or dessert. And it isn't worth it. And DoorDash keeps getting more and more expensive because they know we are in a lazy culture, which circles me right back to where we started with the Halloween trick-or-treating. You know, we all just want to sit on our couches, let the outside world come and go from our door stoop. Shut Up, I Can Cook says, Mild, take the hair out and let it breathe. I mean, I could. It's messy right now. I haven't brushed it today, but I don't care. But yeah, I've had enough bad experiences on DoorDash where, you know, this is just yet another thing where, you know, you get money and whether or not you get service is just up to the whims of some random person. And so and I saw someone covering this. I'm trying to remember what live stream it was. It may have been Revenge of the Sis here on Rumble. Covering this news story, and they were like, well, you know, why are we acting like this is something new? Don't you tip your pizza delivery man? Don't you, you know, and when your pizza delivery shows up, you know, you trust them with your food. Why don't you trust DoorDashers with your food? It's weird that people don't trust DoorDashers, but they'll trust all these other delivery, right? So my counter to that is, if I call Pizza Hut sends Jimmy to my house with their pizza. That person reports to a manager that works for the Pizza Hut Corporation. Like, if I stop ordering Pizza Hut, that takes care of that problem. Like if I have a bad experience with that person, I could report it to their manager. And if that makes the problem worse, or the problem doesn't get corrected, or if I don't think they're taking my advice seriously, then that's on that store, that's on the Pizza Hut Corporation. Now again, I'm just using Pizza Hut as an example. Pizza Hut's not done me wrong recently. But it's this idea of a delivery service. I'm using them as an example. Anyway, so DoorDash, on the other hand, DoorDash is an in-between person with several restaurants, right? And they can't exactly vet all of their delivery drivers like the manager at your local pizza delivery store can manage their delivery drivers, right? This is an app. This is the gig economy. You're dealing with a corporation. You're not, when you apply to be a DoorDash driver, it's not like you sit and have to have, the 15 question interview, right? They're just taking whoever's qualified, whoever meets their little key things for, you got a car decent enough to handle driving a little bit. You willing to provide your information to the corporation so we can get your tax information forwarded to you. Okay, well then you can drive. You can do it. You're your own boss. And that's the problem with DoorDash, is you are your own boss. You're only accountable to the people you want to be accountable to. And often that's not going to be the customer. It's going to be your own personal whim. So yeah, I regret this notion that because pizza has been delivered for centuries, or for, decades, almost said centuries, that because pizza has been a delivery thing for decades, that means all food can just be delivered by random people and it not be a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. And we're getting worse and worse. And our lazy culture, I'm afraid to say that our lazy culture will just roll over and accept this as the new normal, because it is. Because we have gotten so fat and lazy and unwilling to walk anywhere beyond our own front door. Unwilling to be inconvenienced by driving 5-10 minutes down the street to the fast food restaurant, or the Chipotle, or the pizza joint. No, we want the stuff hot and ready on our doorstep. That was, it was somewhat understandable during COVID lockdowns, but the time for that's over. The time for us to start being more responsible with ourselves. We need to start facing it. Like there are some problems you just can't throw money at because there's not enough money to replace good service at a restaurant. There's not enough money to replace interacting with other human beings and understanding the relationships between professional people. I'd argue that's another problem, is now people have gotten so used to being at home that a lot of them forgot how to have manners in public. But yet we're supposed to have tipping etiquette. Now, before I wrap this up, and we're going to go a little bit long today, before I wrap this up, I just want to point out one more little important part of this tipping topic, right? There are people who don't tip. There are lots of people in our culture who don't tip. Now, there are some who would say that that's a racial thing, but no, I knew a white person who, like, not only didn't tip, would like steal other people's tips, and really white trashy behavior. So let me just say, yeah, there are people who just feel that people in service jobs just don't deserve the extra. Like that's they're above that. And I must say, like, at this point, I'm almost with them. I'm almost with them. But if you're going to do that, then don't go out. Like, just cook your own food. Just make your own coffee. Like, if you can't be bothered to tip, because you know the corporation's not going to pay that employee. And at that point, you're punishing the employee for bad policies of the corporation and our bad policies of our culture. Just don't go out. Save your money. Unfortunately, it's only a matter of time before the automated checkout at your local grocery store is going to ask you for a tip. Tip them to bag your own fucking groceries. Anyway. But that's where we're headed. Mark my words, 10 years down the road, we're going to be tipping the machine to do the machine's job. Anyway, folks, that's our show for today. If I could have you just do me one favor before you leave, click that like button down below. If you want to share this off platform, please do that as well. Click the follow or subscribe button, depending on what platform you're on. Click that notification bell if you're on YouTube. You'll be alerted when I'm going to go live next time. If you have a little app on your phone that tells you to do that. But yeah, like, share, subscribe with both notifications. Oh yeah, leave comments below. I always forget to tell people, leave comments below. And for God's sakes, if you didn't like this program, go back into my history, pick a random show, watch another one. Just give me one more chance to catch your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, go back into my history, find another video, snatch it, watch it. Give me one chance to earn your follow. All right. That's the show for today. Down in the description are also links to all of my social media. If there's a show like this week, normally my show's on Saturday, 6 p.m. Central, and Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central. We had to move it this week, so I tried to let everyone know down on the social media. So if you're not following me on social media and I have to move my show, you're not going to know until I'm here. So if you want to follow all the news for Mild's Culture Plate, follow me on all the social media links down below. And I think that's it. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Outlast those haters. Don't get any on you. And if you do, rub that shit in real good. I will catch you next time right here on Mild's Culture Plate. Take care, everybody. Peace.